Um, all right, here's my presentation. Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted, how many of you have ever been to the Chesapeake Bay or eaten seafood that came from it? The Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the United States and supports wildlife, tourism, fishing, and millions of people living throughout the watershed. Unfortunately, over the past several decades, pollution and environmental damage have threatened its health. As someone who has spent time fishing and has spent time visiting the Chesapeake Bay and fishing, I've seen firsthand how much it's changed. That's why I wanted to learn more about the problems affecting it and the efforts being made to restore it. Today, I'll discuss three things: what's causing the pollution, how how it affects the bay, and how restoration affects the helping and improving upon it. The biggest threat to the Chesapeake Bay is pollution and how much it comes from human activity. One major source is agricultural runoff. According to the Chesapeake Bay program, fertilizers, animal manure, and pesticides wash into nearby streams and riversides after rainstorms. These pollutants eventually make their way onto bay and agricultural contributions nearby. Half of the nitrogen and phosphorus pollution entering the bay. These nutrients like may help crops grow, but they enter the water systems and they create serious environmental problems. Um, Urban development is another contributor to these algae blooms and runoffs as fields are replaced with roads, parking lots, and buildings, and rainwater carries oil, trash, chemicals, and sediment directly onto waterways instead of being naturally filtered by the ground. Climate change also makes these problems worse by increasing water temperature and creating conditions that allow pollutant to spread more easily. Now that we've looked at where the pollutant comes from, let's examine what exactly it's doing to the Chesapeake Bay. One of the biggest consequences of pollutants, uh, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, excess nitrogen and phosphorus causes algae bloom to grow rapidly across the surface of the water. These blooms block out sunlight from reaching underwater grasses and also consume boatloads of oxygen, which hurt the fish. And this causes dead zones where fish, crabs, oysters, and other aquatic life cannot survive because oxygen levels become too low. Another major issue is invasive species. These species, such as northern snakeheads, blue catfish, and zebra mussels, compete with native wildlife for food and habitat. As their populations increase, native species and among the Chesapeake Bay ecosystem decrease. And even though these problems are serious, there's still reason to optimize. Um, Fortunately, there are many organizations and government agencies that are working to restore the bay. The EPA's Chesapeake Clean Water Blueprint sets these goals. Um, Reducing nitrogen, phosphorus, and sediment pollutions throughout the watershed. Many farmers are adapting conservation while practicing that reduced fertilizer runoff while still allowing them to operate successful farms. Scientists have also been encouraging signs in oyster restoration, healthy oyster reefs, natural filter, and recent surveys have found the highest oyster populations in decades, and individuals can help as well. Simple actions like taking fertilizer and properly disposing of trash, participating in local cleanups, and protecting streams all make a difference because every stream eventually leads to the Chesapeake Bay. Today we've learned that pollution from agriculture, urban development, and invasive species has replaced tremendous pressure on the Chesapeake Bay. We've also seen how these pollutants create algae blooms, dead zones, declining wildlife. However, restoration projects, stronger environmental policies, and community involvement are helping the bay recover. I've personally seen pollution while fishing on the bay, from floating trash to algae blooms and invasive snakehead fish. Seeing those changes made me realize how important conservation efforts really are. The Chesapeake Bay is one of our nation's greatest natural resources. If governments, communities, and individuals continue working together, future generations can enjoy a healthier bay. I just like to state my sources. Um, in on let me they are the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, the state by the state of the Bay, and the Chesapeake Bay Program, on sources of pollution. Harding L.W. Doctor Junior Maloney, on his long-term trends of nutrients and water quality in Chesapeake Bay. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, on the Chesapeake Bay total maximum daily loads, U.S. Geological Survey on the containments affecting fish and wildlife, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture on conservation practices in the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you. All right, that wraps?
Yeah. How do I how do I get the video?
Can we like save it now? Like, is it just like, do we hit done? I don't really know.
It should
Stop
down.
recording.